The Chitrik Academy is dedicated in loving memory of Rabbi Tzvi Hirsh Chitrik. Welcome to Lesson 3 of Gemara Eilu Metzios. Today we are going to learn from Rabbi Yirmiyah. I'll make a little circle over here. Until Kav Shum Shmin. By this aleph over here. So I'll make a period over there. In previous Gemara, we discussed that Rabbi Yitzchak said, Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Kav be'arba ames. If a person finds a kav in the area of 4 ames, he may keep it. Kav, we said, is a measurement. Let's write this down. Rabbi Yitzchak says, a kav in the area, let's say this is a kav, in the area of 4 ames. 4 ames. The finder gets to keep it. Now, Rabbi Yirmiyah is going to ask, what is the reason for this? Rabbi Yirmiyah. The question is, why? Why specifically a kav in the area of 4 ames? So there are two possible suggestions. Suggestion number 1 is that the area of 4 ames is a very large area. It's approximately 6 feet. And therefore, if a person loses kernels, he loses wheat, he won't come back to collect it if it's spread out over such a large area, because it's a big bother to come collect wheat, little kernels of wheat that are all spread out. So let's write this down. Number 1 is because it's a bother. Which the Gemara will call a tircha. Or is it because not the size of the area, rather because a kav is not a chashuv amount, it's not a valuable amount of wheat that a person cares to come back for. However, if it was a larger amount of wheat, if it was more wheat, then they would return, they would come back. So there's a reason because of valuable. Which Gemara calls chashuv. This is what we're going to discuss today in the Gemara. We're going to discuss 2 questions that Rabbi Yirmiyah asks. He brings down 2 cases to try to determine what is the reason. He actually brings 4 cases, but today we're only going to focus on 2 of them. Let's go back to the Gemara. Let's scroll down a little bit. Rabbi Yirmiyah asks a question. If a person finds chatzi kav bishtei amos, a half a kav in the area of 2 amos, mahu, what is going to be the halacha? And he analyzes. When Rabbi Yitzchak said, kav ba'arba amos, if a person finds a kav in the area of 4 amos, he may keep it. Taimamai, what was the reason for it? Was it the first reason, like we mentioned, mishum de nafesh terchayu, because in the area of 4 amos, when wheat is spread over 4 amos, is a big bother to collect it? Then for sure in our case, chatzi kav b'shtei amos, kiven the loy nafesh terchayu, in an area of only 2 amos, which is a very small area, le'mafker, the owner will not make it hefker. He will not give up on returning to collect his wheat, and therefore if a person finds it, they may not keep it because the owner will be returning. Oidilma, or perhaps, the reason why Rabbi Yitzchak said if a person finds a kav in the area of 4 amos, he may keep it, is not because it's a bother for amos, rather mishum deloy chashivi, because a kav of wheat is such a small amount of wheat that a person does not value it and is not valuable, and a person will not return to retrieve it. And therefore, b'chatzi kav v'shtei amos, what if it's half that amount? For sure, even though since a person it's not chashiv, mafker lehu, the owner will make it hefker. So this is the first case Rabbi Yirmiyah brings down to try to understand the reason of Rabbi Yitzchak. So let's see. Let's write down this case. Let's scroll down a little bit. Let's change to a different color. Let's change to white. Rabbi Yirmiyah's case of a half a kav. So let's make a smaller half a kav. And the area is only 2 ames. So the question is, the person who finds it, may he keep it or not? If the reason why Rabbi Yitzchak said specifically a kav and 4 ames is because it's a bother to retrieve, the owner will not retrieve it. And if it's only 2 ames, there's such a small area, then the owner will retrieve it, and a person who finds it may not keep it. However, if the reason why Rabbi Yitzchak said that a kav and 4 ames may be kept, is because a kav is not a valuable item, then a half a kav is for sure not a valuable item, and therefore the person who finds it will be able to keep it. This is the first case that Rabbi Yirmiyah brings down. Let's go on to the next case. Kavayim bishmayna amayis. What if it was double the amount that Rabbi Yitzchak said? Rabbi Yitzchak only mentioned 1 kav in the area of 4 ames. What if it was kavayim, it was 2 kav in the area of 8 ames? Mahu, what would be the halacha? Let's make a mark over here that this is case number 2. Let's go back and write case number 1. That way we'll be able to see where the cases are in the Gemara. First case was a half a kav and 2 ames, and the second case is 2 kav in the area of 8 ames. Let's go to our board and write down case number 2. Case number 2 is kavayim, 2 kav. So let's make 2 kav. And the area is very large. It's 8 ames. What will be in this case? So let's study this. If we say that the reason why Rabbi Yitzchak said 1 kav and 4 ames is because it's a bother to collect something in 4 ames, then 8 ames, it for sure will be a bother because it's a much larger space. However, if we say that the reason why Rabbi Yitzchak said a person may keep it is because a kav is not chashuv, it's not a substantial, valuable amount that the owner will come back to retrieve, then maybe if it's 2 kav, the owner may come to retrieve it. And in case number 2, it wouldn't be the same. Let's write this down. Let's use a different color for case number 2. Let's write here case number 1. Case number 1, we said that if we say that it's a bother, the person finds it may not keep it. And if we say that it's valuable, the person finds it may keep it. And case number 2, let's use the color red. So if it's a bother to collect in 4 ames, then 8 ames for sure it's a bother, and therefore the person who finds it may keep it, because the owner's for sure not going to come back to collect the little kernels in such a large area. However, if the reason why a person may keep a kav that he finds is because a kav is not valuable, however, if there's 2 kavayim, maybe it would be valuable, and the person finds it will not be able to keep it because the owner will for sure come to retrieve it. Let's read that in the Gemara. Kavayim bishmayna ames mahu. If a person finds 2 kav in the area of 8 ames, what is the halacha? when Rabbi Yitzchak said kav ba'arba ames, taima mai, what was his reason? Was it mishum de nafesh techayu? It's a big bother to collect little kernels in the area of 4 ames, and therefore v'kolshken kavayim b'shmeina ames. For sure, 2 kav in the area of 8 ames. Kiven the nafesh techayu. It's a much larger area, and therefore a larger tircha, a larger bother to collect. Mafker lehu, the owner will make it hefker, and the person may keep it. Kiven the nafesh techayu tvei, because it's more of a bother. Mafker lehu, the owner will make it hefker. Ay dilma, or perhaps the reason why Rabbi Yitzchak said if a person finds a kav in 4 ames, he may keep it, is not because it's a bother, and therefore the owner will not come back. Rather, mishum deweich hashivi. 1 kav is not valuable enough for a person to return, the owner to return and collect it. However, v'kavayim b'shmeina ames. However, 2 kav in the area of 8 ames. Kiven dechshivi, because it is 2 kav, it may be more valuable. Lo mafker lehu, a person will not make it hefker, and the person who finds it will not be able to keep it because the owner will come looking for it. This is what we just learned. Kavayim, 2 kav and 8 ames. If it's a bother, then the person who finds it may keep it because the owner will not return. However, if it's valuable, then the person who finds it may not keep it because the owner will not return. This is the end of this lesson.